I'm sorry.
It's all good. What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
I just got us copyrighted again. Damn it.
So welcome in, everybody, to another episode of House Calls with Skull Doc, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. My co-host, as always, is Dave. Joining us again tonight is Steven. Welcome back, my dude. He said, hey, when you guys have another mock draft, I'm your guy. Let us know. And I let him know like 15 minutes prior to the show. He's like, I'm your guy.
You're lucky my kids go to bed early, man. That's the only time of the day I really have is this time of the day. So,
but it's good to have you. Regarding the intro, we keep getting copyrighted. I think it's the song in our video.
I hit the wrong button. I just was going to do like a little 10-second one, and then shit, I hit the wrong button.
So we'll figure out the intro, but hopefully we don't get copyrighted for the 3 seconds of song that was in there.
Oh, there was no song there, so maybe we're good.
I think we're good.
You're probably fine.
So let's just start the show with breaking down first the Jordan Mason trade, because we haven't talked about this yet on the show. Dave, why don't you lead off with your thoughts on the trade?
Yeah, I mean, it's like one guy I've had on my show before, and guy like he said he said it perfectly. We just made it easier in the draft to decide. We've simplified things for us where we could just take the best player available and not worry about it, because I feel like we've solved the running back problem. I like so many things about him. His downhill running, that toss sweep, he catches it and he's hitting the hole. He's hard to bring down. He's got that extra effort. I think might be better higher end running backs in the draft that we could get in the third round, but he does serve a purpose I think we're kind of missing right now with what we have currently on the squad. I don't know much about his pass blocking at all, which is something we kind of care about on our team, but as far as red zone and short yardage and just getting that extra yard, I feel like he's got it.
Yeah, Steven, go ahead, man. Now, you're an analytical guy. Give us some knowledge.
Blow my analysis out of the water, man.
The quick study I've done on, I honestly don't remember a thing about him until I heard about him. I remember, from the San Francisco game when they played us week 3 here last season. But like I said, I'll go back to the guys on the podcast where to mention this. Like they said, coming out of college, he was undrafted because he couldn't pass block for anything. And now he's actually really good at pass blocking. So
good to hear.
It's still getting back to the game. He actually saved Purdy a couple of times, getting his rear end, bulldozed over in that game because he's really worked up his pass blocking, efficiency in the last few years. Kind of reminds me of, you remember Toby Gerhart was kind of a bowling ball, and was it Matt Asiata? Kind of the same thing, just they're just brick bowling balls, That's the best way I can equate it. But like just big bruiser guys, that just they're hard to bring down, So, but yeah, he's really worked on his pass block, and that's really what I like about him mostly too. And and he's got like the second highest, yards per carry or whatever it is, and like NFL history. But he's only had like 250, I think, total snaps, in his career. But it's he's hard to bring down, that's for sure. So yeah, I like the trade. You basically traded again your own pick again for Ed Ingram for this pick. I like it. I think it's a good pickup. So I'm happy with it.
I feel like it's just a free player, and he's a pretty good
one. Yeah, because again, you're basically trading your own pick you just had again, from a year ago that you just got back in the Ingram trade. So it's basically you just swap players. Basically all you did.
Yeah, so, and you move back 20 spots in like the 5th round.
Yeah, big deal. You're already in the 5th round anyway. So you're already in day 3. So,
but I think the biggest issue that people had with it, for people who are nitpicking or looking to nitpick, was that the Vikings paid quite a bit of money to Aaron Jones. Now, we've talked about how it's more of a 1-year type of deal, how that's set up. Then they spent a little bit of capital, although not much, to go out and get Jordan Mason in a draft where all we hear about is how historically deep and top heavy this draft is. It's deep with good players. And that doesn't mean the Vikings still can't take a guy. We've talked about that as well. So I'm fine with what they've done. I think that he's an excellent thunder to Aaron Jones Lightning. They're going to make a good duo. And this whole offseason has been about the Vikings trying to turn their weakness into a strength, right? They talked about that. Kwesi talked about, can we make our weakness into a strength regarding running the football in the end zone, or in the red zone, and running the football in the end zone. So I guess I was correct there. and then being able to pass protect up the middle. And I think that all of these moves have really taken care of those weaknesses. And to Dave's point, it really does set them up to go wherever they want to in the draft. They don't have to, lean in one direction or the other. They can trade back if they want. They can take best player available. So I love the move. He's a tough runner. His yards over expected is really good in the NFL, up there with Derrick Henry. He faced the second most, I believe, from what I saw, stacked boxes in the NFL. And despite that, had, I think, the second most yards after contact. So all of these numbers are great numbers. This, to me, screams running back one who is stuck behind Christian McCaffrey. And, dude, Kwesi just can't stop cooking this offseason. The guy is in the kitchen. He won't leave.
I'm getting kind of tired of hearing that phrase. It's getting a little annoying. I'm not gonna lie. If I hear collaboration one more time, I might puke too. I'm just kind of getting sick of hearing those words. But yeah, I agree with you. So, but
Hey, what's up, Skull State of Mind? Welcome in, man. Good to see you.
What's up, brother?
yeah, to the draft, like I said, if Devin Neal or ATN are there on day 3, I think you take one of those guys now. And I think this is a draft kind of about building for next year, because you got to have your main pieces in place. You need your replacement guys for down the road for Harry, for you need another corner, D tackle if Hargrave or Allen both go down. Again, they're both going to go on 1-year deals, both of them too. So everyone's saying we signed all these guys a lot of money. They're basically on 1-year deals. If you look at it, if you look at the math. Rogers, Allen, Hargrave, and other than Will Fry, is basically they're all 1-year deals essentially with the guaranteed money that I've seen. So
what college running backs did you say when you first?
Devin Neal and that Travis Etienne. I like those guys both on day 3. I don't know if Neal's gonna be there. He's getting a little more hype coming up, here, but I don't think he's had his pro day yet. He's from Kansas, and Etienne is the younger brother of the Jacksonville guy. I think he was at Georgia. I want to say, or was Georgia. I think he went to Florida. Maybe I can't remember.
I think he started at Florida and finished at Georgia.
Okay, so I was other way around. Anyway, but yeah, I like both those guys in day 3. RJ Harvey's the name I've heard mentioned. I don't know a lot about him. He's kind of, I think, a bowling ball too. Yeah.
Yeah, I like RJ Harvey a lot. I'm hoping one of these guys is available in the 5th round because I think that's the sweet spot for the Vikings to go grab somebody. So yeah, we're gonna go into a mock draft in a little bit here. I did want to talk a little bit about a tweet that I posted the other day that got a lot of attention, and the tweet basically said, and this is not hyperbole, that
you just make all Vikings fans look terrible. Skoldock, what the
do
fuck?
I?
Yeah,
the tweet basically
I've
said
had someone say that to me once.
Yeah, JJ McCarthy has.
That's why I've been drinking the last week hearing about this crap. Yeah.
JJ McCarthy has the best supporting cast, the best setup for a rookie starting quarterback in the history of the NFL. That's what I said. And I kind of fixed that by saying
no hyperbole, says,
no hyperbole.
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
None. And then it got me thinking, like, the fact that we're trying to sit here and think of examples that could top it, maybe the 99 Vikings or whatever for Dante.
Yeah.
The fact that we're like struggling to come up with real examples, like Mahomes 2018 when Mahomes was starting.
Purdy had, he had a pretty good stacked roster when he came in.
Yep.
If you look at Kaepernick, when he played the second year, but when he came in, he went to the Super Bowl that first year he played as a starter.
Yeah.
And they should have won that year in 2012, but
a lot of these guys are going deep in the playoffs. Like that's the whole point.
Well, look at Jaden Daniels on his first year, but he was the second overall pick, but NFC title game, and I mean, he needs more weapons, but I didn't think they'd get past the first round of the playoffs, and they made it to the title game, the conference title game. So
honestly,
there was one other guy. I think because I think they actually did this on the other pod the other day. I think you remember Chad Pennington. I think he was one of them too. I want to say got to the playoffs, but won a round, but. Like no, but they all had like stacked rosters those years they came in.
Yep.
So
I don't even think Jaden Daniels' supporting cast was that damn good. Honestly,
I think he put it on his shoulders. Honestly,
yeah.
I think the defense was better than people thought that it would be. And who does he have other than outside? Was it
Scary Terry?
That's it. I mean,
he's
who's
great.
number 2?
Diami Brown was okay. Their old ass tight end who I think they just extended.
Oh yeah, Zach Ertz.
Zach
Or
Ertz,
yeah,
he's super reliable, but he's like whatever. I mean, that just goes to show you that kid's the real deal.
they have a
And
decent running game. I can't remember. Is it Brian Thomas?
well,
Is the running back?
Brian Thomas Jr. Jaden
Yeah.
Daniels makes that running game
Oh
because
yeah.
he's so dynamic. It's the same thing with Lamar Jackson. Jaden Daniels is the real freaking deal.
Oh yeah.
And I think the Bears made a huge mistake by picking Caleb Williams over Jaden Daniels. Now,
I can tell you that
hindsight's
too, but
2020, obviously. But
yeah,
that kid is legit. And the Vikings, I mean, for a long time, the NFC has kind of been the conference without all the top studs. You know, you got Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes over there in the AFC, Josh Allen over there. And the NFC has just been like, okay, build a bully like the Niners, like the Eagles, and you'll get there, right?
mhm.
Jaden Daniels, I think, is that stud where the NFC might run through him for a while.
I honestly, I don't know if this is a hot take. I think he's already better than Jalen Hurts ever will be. I know people give Hurts flack. I think he's a good, he's a
He's kind of
good game. I call him game manager. I don't think he's got that. He can run, and this whole tush push crap is. I think it's just stupid, But outside of, yeah, who in the NFC is there? I mean, at least right now on paper, who is there that could be a legitimate threat other than
Jared
Jaden
Goff. I
Daniels?
mean,
Hurts
another
is
guy
probably the only
who's
other option, but I think he's a solid number 3 option to number 1, Jaden. Who else is there? I can't think of anybody else, at least in the NFC right now, that could be a legit threat to, a Super Bowl.
man.
I don't
All
know.
the Bears fans are like Caleb Williams. He's the
Yeah.
best.
Well, I think he's a bust, but that's my yeah, that's my draft day Kevin Costner, voice kicking in, but yeah, I think you could give him the best O line in the world. I think he's still gonna be a bust. Look how bad Roma Dunze was this past year. He was a great receiver, in Washington, but he couldn't do anything with Caleb, and the guy just has no awareness because the way he played was just a, shoot from the hip mentality or shoot from the hip kind of play style. Don't work like that in the NFL. If you guys can do that, he ain't one of them. So outside Lamar and Jaden, he ain't one of them. So yeah,
Just looking into the future here at what JJ McCarthy has as a supporting cast, Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones, the receiving core with Addison, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Naylor. Hopefully, we add another name there. But our tight end, Hawkinson, I expect him to be a top 3 tight end this year in the NFL. The offensive line additions that we've made, I mean, it is just ridiculous. And Sam Monson made a really good point on Collar's podcast today when they were kind of looking at JJ McCarthy and the supporting cast that he has around him. And Monson's point was, if you look at where the draft analyst had JJ McCarthy ranked in that class, it was usually right in the middle of those guys, right? There was like 5 or 6 really good guys, and mostly everybody had him right behind one of Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May, right? JJ McCarthy was steadfast right in that mix, right in there. And they were like, and all of these guys turned out to be good so far. So if JJ McCarthy, who you thought was going to be better than Nix, thought was going to be better than Penix, thought was going to be right there with May or Daniels or Caleb Williams, if he shows that level of play with this supporting cast, look the hell out, because this team could go deep in the playoffs his first year starting. And I agree with that. Do you guys have any rebuttal to that at all? Dave?
no, again, Pete here. So here, just quickly, I'm not gonna talk about the a hole in the room. I ain't gonna talk about him, because I don't think I don't ever think it was gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. But people are putting all this pressure on McCarthy, like he has to win this year because they're all in. No, they're really not all in this year. The way the contracts look on paper, they look like they're all in on this season with the way they structured their cap. Again, they're saving this cap room for a supposed big move coming. I don't think they're all in. I think they're just trying to give them the best way to win. They be tougher schedule this year because they went 14-3. They're going to regress. That's just going to happen. We knew that. Regardless, I think if he played last year or this year, whoever his first year was going to be, McCarthy, I think he's going to, again, you can't have him. Maybe he wins. No one's ever won a Super Bowl as a rookie. Could he be the first? Yeah, maybe. Our luck would tell us otherwise as Vikings fans and history
Hey,
goes,
Tom Brady did it his
but
second year.
do I see him going like 10-7, maybe 11-6 at the top, maybe winning the first round of the playoffs? Yeah, I could see that. I think that's where we set our expectations a little
Yeah.
bit. But yeah, I agree. I think it all comes down to Hawkinson actually because he loves tight ends. That's what his style is more. When he played at Michigan, he was really tight end, pass happy with the ones he had, like Loveland coming out of the draft this year, that Loveland coming out in the draft this year, that was at Michigan. He likes his tight ends, and I don't think Hawk was healthy last year. I just don't think he was trending. Having but yeah, he played a full year, he would have gotten 1,000 yards at his pace he was going, but he's got to have a good year this year. I think that they're going to be successful this year. I think I think it starts with Hawkinson for sure. Improved O line, good running game now. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with Addison and his suspension, which we know is coming. How many games will he miss? 2 or 3 probably. But yeah, I think everyone's acting like it has to be Super Bowl or bust. I don't see it that way. Your window opens now.
Yeah.
It starts this year. The window now opens. Could he get there in his first year, like Jaden Daniels? Yeah, he could. Do you need luck to get that far? Yeah, you do. Even if you're again as good as Mahomes is, they're lucky, and they are. But I don't think it's a hot take, honestly. I mean, again, we had to come up with what 2 3 examples we just thought off the top of our heads right there that we could barely come up with in our in history of having
Hmm.
stacked rosters for rookie quarterbacks coming in. There's maybe been what a handful of teams you could argue that's ever happened with
Yeah.
in
And
the
I've seen
history
a
of the
lot of
NFL.
comments.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of comments where they're like, "Oh, everybody said this about Chicago last year, right?" That was the
yeah.
most common
Well,
comment I saw on the thread.
that was mostly Chicago
Ch-
fans, and as delusional as they are, and they are delusional.
Chicago was coached by a clown.
Yeah,
Okay, we're not going
Eberflus
to
is always a
compare Kevin
clown.
O'Connell, the coach of the
Yeah,
year, to Matt Eberflus. We're not going to
yeah,
do it.
no,
Hell, we're not going to
that's
compare
not even the
Kevin
same
O'Connell.
stratosphere of coaching. Brian, who would take your worst head coach. That's coached the Bears in the last decade. They would done a better job than him easily. But that's a whole other story. Yeah, I think Ben Johnson's. I think he's a little overrated. Honestly, I think he is. I don't think it's gonna
Yeah.
work with Caleb. I really don't think it's gonna work with him. I don't think it's gonna
Well,
work with Caleb Johnson.
let's at least see what he's
Yeah,
about,
give
right?
him a
Before
full
we
year or
start
two.
comparing him to
They upgrade
LaFleur
their
and Kevin
offensive line
O'Connell
with
and
32-year-old Thuney who's got injury problems, and Jonah is if he's healthy, which is again another big ask, But outside of those guys, you got a Dahlman who, yeah, he's a slight upgrade over Bradbury on paper. Okay, that doesn't strike fear in my heart. I don't know about you guys, but and your tackles, I can't tell you who they even are. So
yeah.
who's gonna, yeah. You didn't get any. Well, so you're gonna draft what, a receiver, running back? I mean, maybe, probably. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. McCarthy again. I'm as again like Thor. I'm not his biggest supporter, but I'm right up there with him. As far as supporters go, that's why I'm sick of all this quarterback talk. But
Yeah.
temper expectations. That's all I'm going to say. Be real about Be real about this. Do you see him win a Super Bowl this year? Probably not. Could he do it in 2 3 years if they hit on draft picks? Absolutely yes. The window starts now. So that's what I got to say about that.
Dave, what were your thoughts on JJ McCarthy's supporting cast?
So I mean, I agree with you, man. It's you should be pretty excited about it. And I said this last year, and this was me wanting JJ McCarthy to take over day one last year. Of course, he got injured, but I said that there's no reason this team can't win 10 games unless it's with JJ McCarthy. Now, little I know, Sam Darnold would just take off like a rocket. So it kind of worked out for us, but I think. I'm sitting in the draft in 2023 telling these guys I don't want to go up and get I mean, I'm cool if we go get Anthony Richardson or whatever, but I'm talking about next year, 2024, that draft class. Let's not be worried about there. That's 5 6 players deep in that next draft class. Sure enough, it was, and it's all looking pretty good right now. We got the yet to be known commodity because he got hurt this last year, so we haven't got to see him yet. But what we did see in preseason, we liked. We saw he could develop in a short amount of time. I think the experience of sitting on the sidelines, seeing a quarterback prepare for a playoff game is invaluable for a young guy. Yeah, I don't see any reason that this is not a Bears situation by any means. We're we got all the weapons. We've improved the line. This is a better situation than last year. And I said 10 games last year. So I have no problem. I know it's going to be a tougher schedule and all, but it's not a win at all cost thing. It's not we're all in. We got to win it this year, but I can't see why not. I'm not going to say we can't do it. All this guy got to do is throw it to the open guy that Sam Darnold couldn't in the Rams game because there's fucking guys open. That's all he needs to do. All he needs to do is just throw it to the open guy. Don't turn the ball over too much. And I think he's the type of player that from one game to the next, and he's got the swagger, he's got the confidence. I don't see this guy getting rattled. And we saw in that preseason game, a rookie would have folded, thrown a shitty pick like that, or getting a strip sack. But what does he do? He throws 2 touchdowns after each screw up. So yeah, I'm all excited about this year. And it was 2 years ago. I'm saying, hey, I want a rookie to take over in 2025 because that's when we're going to be able to put a awesome team around her. We got there a different way than I expected. We got Sam Darnold instead of extending Cousins a year or whatever we're going to do with them. We got Sam Darnold, and I'm in the same situation I was hoping I was going to be in 2 years ago. So I'm fucking happy about it. I'm on house money right now. That's the way I feel about it.
Amen, brother. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Again, temper expectations. That's the one thing I'm going to keep coming back to. Everyone's like all or nothing. But you got this ready-made roster to win. Ain't going to happen with a 41-year-old broken down cancer like that guy. It's not going to happen. Or with Darnold, or the big thing about McCarthy, he's got the mental makeup. That's just one thing he's got that down, is the mental capacity to handle, I think, pressure like this. Look at the year they won the national championship against Alabama and against who they beat that year. Was that who they beat that year to win the title? I can't.
Yeah, they beat Penix.
Was it Washington? Yeah, or no, they lost them the year before that.
They lost to TCU, right?
Oh, sorry, you're right. Yeah, so yeah, you're right. Sorry, they lost TCU. Excuse me, I got those mixed up. But yeah, I mean, you beat 2 of the best offenses in the country. Your defense was the best in football. Yeah, but to come back down the field and beat Alabama in overtime was no fluke. He took that team down the field and he won that game for them. And like just you said, about the draft class. We don't know a lot by Dallas Turner, but he looked like pretty good the last half of the last season. He's trending upwards. I hope to see him get a couple more snaps this year. With again, you couldn't predict having all pros like Grenard and McGinkle in front of you. No one saw that coming. They both had double-digit sacks. No one saw that coming.
This one.
What?
What's up?
Well, why don't we come out and say something? I'm happy that our freaking franchise is not a sieve of information.
Yeah.
That we have no idea. And I kind of sit there and laugh at guys thinking they know what's happening in the Vikings. And I'm like, no, you don't. No one heard that. You heard that from nobody. You're literally making shit up.
There's a few guys I want to call out here, but I'm not going to do that just because I want to keep it professional. There's a few guys I want to call out on this podcast. I could name them, but I'm not going to. There's a few
there's so many. I mean,
aggregators, I will put it that way, and it ain't Collar. He ain't one of them. So I'm sure you saw that crap today. I know I'm not going to get into the Collar things, but
that whole thing
I don't like him
up
personally, but that's just me, and I know you like him, but there's a few guys that I think shouldn't be aggregating things that they're aggregating in the last 2 weeks. They just want to stir the pot. That's all they want to do. They don't know anything outside the organization. No one knows.
I would like to say something about that just real quick, like 'cause it's my opinion on my show.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm a Matthew Collar fan. I think he does awesome work. I understand that some people don't jive with the way that he covers the team because he's like uber objective, and some people only want the rose-colored glasses version, and that's awesome. That's a K fan. You can find that with Paul Allen.
That's why I don't listen to those guys either.
There, it's there for you. It's okay.
Yeah,
go consume that material.
Some fans they want that. They don't want to hear the objective. So they just want rainbows and unicorns. That's fine.
People say a lot that Collar's a block happy person, but in my experience, he's blocked the people who come at him the wrong way. If you come at him with respect, saying, hey, this is my opinion, you might disagree with it, and you're respectful about it, he's going to engage in a conversation. I disagree with him all the time, and I do it in his comments all the time. He's always respectful with me because I'm respectful to him. With that said, I understand that he's not some people's flavor, and if in that situation that happened where Purple Persuasion throughout that comment, I would have been upset too, because it was a complete joke. I was in that show in the comments watching the show. It was a complete joke, just saying, hey, if somebody sees the Vikings, call this number 1-800-Vikings and let me know so we can do a press conference. Really like to talk to them. And then the way that it was shared was like, like calling him out that, he's upset about it or something. And it's just not the case. In my opinion, it wasn't professional.
The TPP was making shit up.
And here, listen, I really respect that aggregator. I think they do a
don't like
great
him at all.
job. Okay, I get it. But I like that it's there. I can consume, I don't miss much because they're always sharing things. That's where I'm sitting on a fence. I like them both. I think it was unprofessional on both, like the things that happened. We need to move past it. We're bored with the Aaron Rodgers thing. We're sick of the Aaron Rodgers thing, and we're becoming toxic with the Aaron Rodgers thing.
Yeah, let's just move on. Anyway.
I'm just sitting back, watching the money burn.
Yeah.
No, that's to me. I'm
But here's my soapbox, ladies and gentlemen. All of us, I would like to think, are good people at heart. And sometimes we get too worked up online and we say things because it's easy to say things online.
Mm-hmm.
Just take a breath, be respectful, be nice to people. It's just football at the end of the day. And
it's not life.
We're just people.
Life is bigger than football.
Living on this fucking rock with other people. Let's be nice to each other.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's okay to piss some people off. I do it too. I think it's just funny. Some people I've been blocked. You know what's funny? I got a trolling list going. I kid you not. I've been blocked by Doogie at least twice and unblocked. I'm blocked by. I'm sorry, I got my fingers up again, and I'm not gonna do that again. Yeah, we're in the last time. I'm trying to make a list here, but let's see. I'm blocked by Michael Russo, covers the Wild. I'm blocked by Paul. I'm blocked by Dick Bramer, who's whatever.
You got blocked by the Paul Allen.
I know. I was gonna say I meant to say Dick Bramer. Excuse me. I was gonna say Paul Allen. I haven't been blocked by him yet, but I've called him out a few times on his stuff because, like I said, not my favorite rainbows. He wants to be that's what he is. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's his bit. That's his role. That's what he does.
He calls the games. Like
he works for the teams. What else? He can't be saying that anyway. But I got an impressive list going. People I've been blocked by over for little old me. I'm just nobody. I got 300 followers total on Twitter. I don't have a huge following on there. I've been blocked by some impressive guys. I will tell you that.
I got Skulldog to have Matt Collar unblock me.
Oh, I think he blocked me too.
Yes,
I want to say. Oh, and then the other one was who's the other guy?
Yeah, Matt to come on. Hey, I actually, you might find this funny. I actually, I don't know. It was after the show. I was gonna do it on the show, but I decided not to. So, hey, Matt, you blocked me, and I have no idea. I wasn't even a YouTuber then. I just was like 4 years ago. I was like, I don't know what happened, but yeah, I was like, I guess a grenade hit and he blocked a lot of people and I just ended up being one of them. But he's like, oh yeah, sorry, I got carried away probably at that time. But he unblocked me. I follow him now.
I did that for Doogie recently. You saw that where I was like, hey, anybody who's crapping on Doogie,
God, you like died on a hill there.
Oh yeah. I blocked like 30 people.
You know what's funny? Doogie actually knows who I am because he has blocked me once or twice and he's unblocked me. So he actually remembers. He knows who I am because and it's funny. I actually live like about 5 minutes down the road from this guy too. I actually live about 5 minutes from him down the road here too. I don't actually live very far from him down the road here where I live. So we're not too far apart actually in total space here geographically. Oh, Aaron Gleeman, you remember he covers the Twins? You know he is too. Aaron Gleeman, he covers the Athletic for the Twins. He has a anyway, but I'm blocked by a couple of good impressive guys. I'll say that, but Dick Bramer, he's so thin-skinned, it's ridiculous. But because you wore the Twins, that's why I'm saying that. Anyway, but yeah. So moving on. Yeah, you know what? The other day, it's just football. It's not life. Let's just move on. We all want the same goal. Win a title. We all want the same goal, right? Just getting there. We can't agree on anything. That's how we are as Vikings fans. Anyway, we move on. So
Daniel Fall, you're my guy. We're always in those comments together in the collar shows. You feel me on everything. We appreciate his content and we get along great with him.
Yeah.
And if he's not your flavor, know what?
But
there's a lot of different, people out there for you to cover the Vikings and just find somebody that works for you. That's it.
I listen to 5 or 6 different podcasts as Vikings, so I like to get a good variety, including you guys too. So there's a flavor for everybody. So
let's jump into our mock draft.
Yeah, let's
Dave.
do this.
Shout out to my college buddy Tony, who's in the comments. Big Packer fan, but great dude, big heart. Love that guy. We were at Augustana College together. We watched the Super Bowl when the Packers won. It must have been like 20.
That was 2010. They won. Yeah.
Yeah, 2010. We were in the basement of our dorm. I died a little inside, but I was happy for my friend.
Yeah, I got a couple. I got friends who are Packer fans. I actually don't. The banter is always good. It's Detroit's becoming annoying, and Chicago's
Oh,
climbing that list every day. Too. So yeah, it's just good banter with those guys
well,
most of the time.
Chicago just loud during the offseason all the
Yeah,
time.
Detroit's
And
becoming just annoying as it is because they think they won. They won one season. They think that they're the high crap now. But
Detroit
no.
just has the most little brother syndrome I've ever seen in my life. They've been bad for 30 years, and they're like, it's our time. Let's go.
You've won one playoff game and you blew a 20-point lead in the NFC title game in the last 50 years, and you're talking shit. No. So
Dave, do you
anyway,
know how to set this up, or do you need my help?
Dave got me watching when he compared Sam Darnold's path to Matthew Stafford. He wasn't afraid to say it. Did I? Trying to remember what I did. Well, yeah, help me set this up. Is 40 is 62 fast, or is 40?
Let's put it down the middle on 40, because to answer your question, I'm not entirely sure. I think the closest you get to warp, the faster it goes. 2 random is fine. Regular trades on. Let's do CPU to CPU trades. Let's keep that off just because it does add time. It like updates you on every trade that was made. Click on the Vikings logo.
Oh, say it again. Yeah, I clicked on the Vikings.
So you have it set up perfectly right now. Yep. And then scroll up. We're going to scroll up.
Yeah, I did the Vikings. Okay, scroll up.
And you should say start draft up, enter draft to appear on the right. There it is.
Yep. But regular trades, CPU trades off.
Yep, we have that all set up correctly.
Trade chart, Jimmy. All right.
Now you're going to click start draft up by draft tracker, just above your mouse there.
Shut off Moana here. Start draft.
Yep, start that draft, and it's going to cruise to our first pick here.
That's pretty fast, actually.
And I assume we're not trading up, right, gentlemen?
Nah. What?
And people can talk about if Genty falls, he's not going to fall past like 10, I'd say. If the Bears get him, I'd be pissed too. If they get him at 10.
That's the one guy I don't want.
I hope the Raiders take him at 6, which I think is the worst kept secret in football. I think the Raiders take him at 6, but I hope Chicago doesn't get him. Yeah, I'd be pissed if they get him.
I will say a lot of these trade offers that come through are not good because they're a lot for like future picks.
Yeah.
So you can click on next offer on the top right.
Yeah, it's well, it's not a bad offer, but it's for 2026.
You want to do this current year, yeah. So if you can trade back within the first round, that's the way I've been doing it every time I do it too.
I would click reject all on these, which I believe is the bottom right.
I can't see it; it's too small for me on my screen here. But no, never mind. I can zoom in here. Never mind. Sorry.
Dave, let's just let everybody know. So Walter Nolan is on the board. Nick Amanwari is on the board. He's that super athletic safety out of South Carolina, 6'3", runs a sub 4.40 over 40-inch vert. Kenneth Grant is there. This Membo guy is supposed to be an excellent guard prospect, actually. Who is not supposed to be on the board here.
I think I saw him in Kuiper's mock at 4 today. He went like top 10 in his mock today. So he's climbing. I don't know a lot about him. I'm not studying tackles. I'm more studying guards, interior guys this year. But I heard he's a good converted, probably tackle the guards. What I've been hearing about him.
Hampton's there.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna skip the running back.
Can you go back to
look at that? All 3 of these dudes are there.
Yep.
Is Stark
Can you go back
still there?
To all?
Is Stark's gone or is he there?
Scroll down a little bit.
Yeah.
There you go. So
it looks like Stark's
Loveland
gone.
Is there. That's the tight end that was JJ was throwing to for a while.
Revel's there.
Malachi Starks. Derek Harmon all the way down there. So I tell you what, guys, I am team trade down in this scenario.
Let's trade down. Yeah. If you can stay in the first round, go up, or otherwise top the second round.
Make a trade.
So click on make a trade there by team console. Now let me ask you this, guys. Now, Steven just said try to stay in the first round. In my opinion, the best value, as long as there's this many dudes that you're interested in, and for me there is, so I'm okay dropping out of the first round altogether. That's my opinion. The farther you go down, the better the value in return is, okay?
Yeah.
If we go down far enough, we might be able to pick up a second round pick, which would be
stay within the top 35 picks. If you can move back at least 10 spots. So I think like 36, like that Jackson pick, I think it's where you kind of want to stay in that range. If you go down to 40 or lower, I think you're kind of losing some value. But again, they're saying this depth between 25 and 50 is so deep this year, it's ridiculous for getting good value in the second round and even
Now
on the top of
another thought that I had is the 33rd pick, which is the first pick in the second round with the Browns.
Yeah.
That's actually a really valuable pick because that's the first pick of the second day when teams
Yeah.
have all night to talk deals, and you usually have a team coming up for a quarterback in that situation. So you might
Yeah.
have like a little extra value in that spot if you wanted to trade back to 33 and then pull another slight trade back. Maybe you get just a little bit more value. I'd be down for that if you guys wanted to try that and see how that goes.
I think the biggest wild card in this whole draft is going to be where Jackson Dart goes. And people love him, people hate him, but I think that's the biggest wild card is where he actually gets. If he's there at 24, if someone wants to come up and get him, I definitely would trade back. Someone's going to want to get him. Someone's going to overdraft him. I guarantee you that. But
Yeah.
I think he's your biggest wild card by far in the top of this draft.
Dave, click on the pick, add to trade there. Pick number 24 right there. Click that and then go back up and click the Browns. So click on the Browns again. And there you go. Now you're going to pick on 33. And let's ask for 67. Let's ask.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Let's ask
try
for
and get
that.
that 94 for sure.
Now go up on top there where it says offer trade. It should say right above that, right there.
Yep.
And then click offer or decide. Accept.
Sweet.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right.
So we move back to 33. Let's see some of the guys who are going.
There's two guys I'm hoping they're still sitting there. I think one of them will still be sitting there.
So we're on the clock now, right?
Yeah, we're on the clock.
All right. So Walter Nolan's still there.
Yeah.
Cornerback Revel Jr. still there, like that guy. That he is coming back from injury.
Is Harmon still there? Or did he get taken?
He's still there. Scroll down a little bit. Malachi Stark's still there. Harmon.
Oh, he is there.
Tyler Booker's still there. Hampton. I'm sure Gray Zabel's still here too. If we go down a little bit more, I'm sure he'd be on the list. So there's a lot of dudes. Trey Amos is a corner that I like. There's a lot of dudes that I still like on the board. We could even do another little trade down here, or
the running back's still there too.
I'll leave it up to you guys and what you want to do. Personally, if it was my decision and there's one guy I don't want to pass on, it'd be Walter Nolan. The two defensive tackles we signed are in their 30s. Walter Nolan's one of those guys who's just quick, wins with interior pressure. I think he's a stud. Derek Harmon is of the same ilk to him. Dave, let's leave it to you. Do you want to move back again with this talent on the board, or do you want to stick and pick?
I would. I like your idea, Nolan.
What do you think, Steven?
I'm good with sticking and picking. I'm going to go the other way here, though. I like Nolan. So there's a guy that I work that lives in Minnesota here. He's a good podcaster. I trust him completely. He was telling me there's a lot of character concerns with Walter Nolan, that he might be off the Vikings board. I don't believe it personally, but my buddy doesn't really lie about this kind of crap, and he's heard some stuff about character concerns. However, just talk about pure football player, I really like Nolan. However, I've come to fall in love with Harmon even more. I like Derek Harmon a little bit more than Nolan. I think he fits better the system, honestly. If I had to pick, I would go Starks or Harmon here. That's what I would do. But if you want to go Nolan, I've had no problem with that.
Starks or Harmon. I like those guys too.
Yeah.
Let's pull another little trade back here.
Yeah.
Let's
go back
look.
another 4 or 5 spots if you can do that. Then let's do that. I'm sure one
Dave,
of them will be there.
Go to the second. Go to Draft Tracker over to the left there. I just want to see where the spots are, and click on round 2. Is it already on round 2?
It's on round 2.
Yeah, we're on the top.
Click it again because this is showing us round 1. There you go. Now, looking at where we are here, so what do you guys think by dropping down to the Raiders spot? A few spots there. Was that 37? 37.
37. I'm good with that. It's only 4 more spots. I was gonna say don't drop past 40. So yeah, if you can drop to
none of the guys
36.
None of the guys need D tackle.
Right.
None of those teams say they need D tackle.
Okay. Well, again, if you get Harmon or Nolan, it's still a win. So I think you're good at either of those guys.
Let's go to make a trade there by Team Console. Click on that button, and then you're going to click on our 33rd pick first. Now you're going to go find the Raiders.
I still call them Oakland. I still can't call them Vegas.
Yeah.
I still call them Oakland.
Let's get
Never
that
go away.
37. And what do you think about like 108 maybe?
I try 108 if you can get it. Yeah, you're only moving
Nope.
back
Where are
4
you going,
spots,
Dave?
but I think that's a good offer.
Yep.
What?
Yep. Click add that to queue there.
Add what to queue?
Yeah, right there. You were just on it. So go down. Yeah, we're
You-
adding this. Yep, adding
108.
that pick to queue.
Okay.
Good. It should be accepted. Let's go to offer trade. Decide. And we're good.
Perfect.
We just got
There
another
you
4.
go.
So now we're loading up on Capital.
So now we got 4 day 2 picks, or yeah, you
And
got 2
Derek Harmon's
seconds,
there.
a third, and a fourth. So I
So
like
who
that.
picked Walter Nolan? I'm just curious.
Um,
The
New
Giants.
York.
Wow, Walter Nolan and
That's
Dexter
fine.
Lawrence. Oof.
Again, I think Harmon. Yeah, so I would go with Harmon here. That's my
Yeah,
pick, or
I love
Starks
it.
or Harmon. Either one, I'm good with. Because
Dave,
you're
what do
gonna
you
need a
think about an
replacement.
interior pass rusher?
Yeah, it's fine.
I
I
like
think it's our
Harmon.
biggest. It's always been our biggest need, and
I think you
you're
still got
right.
to
We
go
got a couple
defensive tackle
30-year-olds.
early in this draft. I would say it's first 2 picks.
Yeah.
You got to get at least one of them.
It's a great class. Let's pull the trigger. Derek Harmon, welcome to Minnesota.
All right, good deal.
Now, do we want to potentially trade up for somebody? So we do have some capital.
I think let the board play it, and then
Okay.
I mean, you can run it if you want, but I think let it play.
Some guys I'm looking at right here, just Caleb Johnson, Trey Amos. I'm watching Trey Amos. Let's pause it here. Okay, what pick are they on? They're on 59. We're picking at 67.
Yeah, so we're 8 picks away.
Click cornerback for me.
Go
Defensive back. Yeah, I hate when they do that too. I can't tell what's on the part there.
So Trey Amos and Hairston are 2 guys that I really like, corners. I also like Porter. He's a little bit more raw, very tall, speed type guy. Those are 2 guys that I would really like here potentially around this area in the draft. The question is, do we have enough capital right now to pull a small trade up? I think we could. I think you guys would be surprised. It's not going to cost us that much.
I might fight you this one again. I like Xavier Watts. I'm a Notre Dame guy, so I'm a little biased, but
he's a ball hawk.
I like him. I think he'd be a really good Harrison replacement. Again, that's just my opinion, but I'm good with Trey Amos either way. You need a corner, early too here. So I'm good with corner or safety, either one. I'm good with. So yeah, if you can get up 8 spots to go get them.
I think there's some safeties later on the draft I'm okay with getting later, but
yeah,
for the corner,
there's a couple guys I got my eyes on too later.
For me, the corner class is really sketchy after these guys. After like Harrison and Porter.
I've heard guys saying like the top, 100, 125 picks is kind of where the cream of the crop is. I think probably top 100-ish, maybe, but I'm
Dave,
good with either one.
Trey
if you can
Amos's,
offer that 108 pick to get back up to 59, I'd do it. Off that 108 pick, see if that works.
You guys are really breaking up on me.
Pick on Trey Amos' profile.
You guys are really breaking up on me.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I mean, barely.
Can you click on Trey Amos' profile for us?
Okay, Troy. Got it.
There you go. So it should project. Can you scroll down a little? Oh, there it says 4.43 speed. This guy is a technician. I really like Trey Amos.
Basically, do you remember what Emmanuel Forbes was, like 2 years ago? That's what he is already, but he's better than that, too.
Oh, this guy's way bigger than Forbes.
Oh, I know, but same school, but he's bigger and he's better than him already coming out. So, yeah.
Dave, let's get out of this. Let's make a trade. Executive decision from the school doc.
See if you can offer that 108 to get back up to 59. And
click on our pick first. There you go. And then let's pick so it's actually kind of screwy. You got to pick the Lions. Just trust me. I've done this 100 times. Go find the Lions.
There they are. Okay.
So pick 60. Yep. Click on that pick. And then I think we have to go back to us. I think we only picked one pick to offer them.
Yeah.
So there you go. Let's send them. How about try 139, the 5th rounder?
Yeah.
It says it's going to go through.
I'd do it then. If you can keep 108 and 97, I'm all for it.
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Almost hit reset the draft.
Oh, dude.
Don't do that.
For trade. All right.
Yeah. All right. Hit.
Trade him with the division.
Yeah.
The reason we
Cool.
had to choose the Lions is when you go to look for the Ravens, it doesn't show up because it's already like made
On the current pick. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Click start draft up there in the top left, Dave, and it should get us to our pick here. There you go.
Okay.
Reject all. We don't even want to look at them.
Yeah.
And we should be good to make our pick now. Just draft Troy Amos.
Yeah, I think it's still waiting on the next pick.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Middle column.
I'm confused. It's still saying Detroit. Hang on. There we go. It fixed.
Oh, there they go. They updated it. Okay. They took Caleb Johnson. Of course they did, but that's fine. Again, we don't need a running back this early again.
No, we're solid there.
Yeah. So you got Amos
who
right
do you
there.
want?
Trey Amos
right there. The second one down. Yep.
We're cooking, fellas.
All right. I like it. Not bad. That'd be your two biggest needs. You covered. You got starters next year easily. Day one next year. That's what I think Quincy has to do in this draft. I think for me to get the extension, you got to find 2 day one starters. I think with your first 2 picks.
Trey Amos to me is a guy I would be happy if they took him at 24.
Oh, and he'll probably be there. I've heard some first round. He might actually drop out of the first round, but it wouldn't shock me if he's still there. He'll probably be there at 24, I'd imagine. Because it's Benjamin Morrison is the big one, and Rebels the other one. He'll probably go top 15. But I haven't heard a lot of steam on Amos lately. But yeah, he'll probably be there at 24, I would imagine. So
you guys want a guard from the Giants?
No,
not that guy. I don't.
Reject. I think there's just only one offer in there.
If you go to the top right, it says next offer.
What's the
See, it's a lot of future. That's the only issue.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all future.
Yeah, you can reject that.
I never end up accepting them.
Just reject it. So.
All right. Well, I'm going to let Dave make this pick because he's due for a pick here. I feel like me and you have kind of dominated the first 2 picks. What are you thinking, Dave?
I already know who I want at 108, so I'll let him make this one because I know who I want. I see him sitting there too. Hopefully, he's still sitting there at 108. I already know who I want. So, yeah. So we got our D tackle, we got our corner. Still need safety. Need tight end maybe. Offensive line. I think
we have 3 more picks. So at some point we could trade down again if you wanted to just get a little bit more capital. It's up to you guys. Well, I like Fairchild.
Yeah.
He's going to go a lot later in the draft. I'm seeing him like late day 3 and a lot of the mocks I've been seeing. I'm guessing I would take the other guy if he's still there, Ratledge. I'm sure he's gone by now, but who's there for guards? Can you pull that up quick? Or you already got it up there? Interior O-line. Yeah. I like Kandra. He'd be a solid. Again, he wouldn't be the biggest guy, but he's like one of those guys. I think he'd just be a solid, good starter for the next decade. He'd just come in, do his job. I think he'd just be a solid, good guard the next decade of your life. So I like him.
Thor says Jared Wilson is the best center in the draft, and he's available.
I really love him too. Yeah, you need a replacement for Kelly. If he gets hurt, you're SOL. Which he's been hurt every year of his career.
He's a big guy.
Not the biggest guy, but he's just a pure good center. I love him. I'd have no problem with that either. But again, it's on Dave, so his choice. I would go offensive line here probably, or tight ends, but I don't know. It's his choice. So, what are you thinking, Dave?
Oh, I'm looking offensive line. Wasn't really liking anything else.
Yeah,
this high.
I did like, if you go to DB, I did like Malachi Moore, who's a guy I take a lot. Right there, the Alabama safety.
Yeah. He's my guy. He's one of my guys.
Didn't we just take a safety?
No, we took
we took a corner.
Oh, we took a corner.
Moore kind of projects as like a hybrid nickel, like corner safety. He's kind of like Metellus, but he can play safety. Like he's a legit like starting like just defined safety.
He reminds me of Brian Branch, like very similar to Brian.
That's what I'm and same school. That's what I'm seeing him compared to. He's a little skinnier. He's taller than Branch, but he's got a lighter frame. But Jordan Reed, I'm sure you guys know who he is, covers the draft better than anybody, in my opinion. He loves that guy. He calls him just a bulldog. And I love guys like that. They're not afraid to tackle. He's good in the run game already. Coverage is okay, but again, he can get
Yeah.
better with coaching. He's got good size. Like, he's legit, like, I think 6 feet. Like,
Yeah.
he's not the biggest guy, but he's a legit good tackler.
Another
He's my
thing I'll
guy at
say
108.
is Darius Alexander there. He's going to go way earlier. He's
Yeah,
going to
he'll
go
probably go like early day 2, I imagine. I
yeah,
think
I
he
think
goes
he's
in
a
the top
top 50
50.
pick.
Yeah. He really shot the draft board after being an unknown a month ago too. So yeah, Dave, I don't know. It's your call. Linebacker
Well,
edge is another. I think linebacker edge. I think is another good on. Yeah, but whoever you want to pick here, it's your choice. So
I think we got pretty thinned out at safety.
yeah,
Recently,
I
and
think you
with
got to get somebody to replace Harry next year.
and I
This
just feel
year,
like there'll be a lineman left in the next
Yeah.
round.
there probably will be.
So I'll
So
draft
let's run
Malachi
it.
Moore.
Malachi Moore.
Malachi Moore, bring him on
Welcome to the
down. He'd
Minnesota
be
Vikings.
great choice, I think, for this team. I really love his game. Really good player. So,
Jared Wilson's probably going to. Nope, there he just went.
damn
And
it,
so
he
did
was my pick.
Chandra.
If he didn't go,
I
that would have
know.
been my easiest pick in the world there.
Let's
All
go look at
right.
offensive line.
Yeah. Let's see who we got here. Charles Grant's pretty good, but he's more of a day 3 guy. Again, I think Fairchild
Yeah,
is good. I think he's
this
more
is
of
a good
a.
center prospect too. This is
I
kind of
like
Thor's number
McLaughlin.
2 center.
He's coming off that Achilles tear, which scares the
Oh,
crap out of me.
yeah,
He's
but
a
he's got time to develop.
I know. So yeah, the best case scenario is that he's not gonna. He wouldn't play this year anyway. He's coming off the Achilles. He blew it like I think like in practice. I think like late in the year. I want to say. So I think he's
He's
gonna be
gonna go later
recovering.
too.
What?
They got him like 160 here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you can get him with your later pick. I want to say.
Let's
I
go
do like Fairchild.
let's go back and click on all and just see like what's at the top of the board
Yeah,
here.
let's see what we got here because I might want to take an edge here too if there's one available. Because I think you need another solid option at edge because they don't have a lot of guys behind Grenard and Van Ginkel. You got Turner, but you lost Pat Jones, so you need somebody. I like Gabe Murphy. Maybe we want to draft this year. He didn't play all year from that knee injury he had last season, but I still like him. He was undrafted this season too.
Click on running
So,
backs, Dave. Let's see who on the running backs.
Scatterbo.
yeah, who do you got there?
Um,
Scatterbo, I'm not a big fan of. He's more
scroll
like that
down a
same
little bit.
style. Yeah. ETN's there.
Trevor Etienne we like. He'll be a guy
I-
that we target later.
I like him. Yeah, you can get him probably on day 3.
Scroll down just a little bit more. Damian Martinez from the U, he's great. RJ Harvey later there. Tootin, these are all backs that
Giddens,
these guys are ranked way too low. There's so
Yeah.
many good backs there. So we'll take a back with our last pick, guaranteed. So the question here is, are you okay having just 2 more picks left, or do you want to trade down with this pick and grab at least another pick out of this class?
Can you scroll down on the offensive line here quickly for me? There's one other guy I'm looking for that might be there. If he's there, I'll just take him. McLaughlin's good. Keep going a little bit, or is that it? I don't see him. Okay, he's not there.
Let's trade
Yeah.
back.
I think you could just trade back 10 spots, get another day 3 pick. Probably that's what I would do here because you probably need
Yeah.
another pick between because you're picking like another 60 picks between that and your late day 3 pick and 6th round. So yeah, I'd trade back 10 spots if you can right here.
I would
There's
just
still there's still
yeah.
plenty of good guys in value. I think there you could get either way. And you're already on day 3 anyway, so it's not like you're
just call it Tampa Bay.
yeah.
You don't have to count.
What the heck just happened?
Oh, you went to Washington, not Tampa.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
It's fine. What pick do they have?
Just offered.
128, I think, right there. Is
got
that
it.
pick
I got it.
128?
He figured it out.
Tampa.
Did I miss
Keep
it?
going. Nope, there they are.
There they are.
So why did they give us the Bears?
I
Or
think he just
is Dave
misclicked.
not clicking right here? I don't know.
I don't know, man. I swear I
Try
took
Tampa one more time here. Yeah. Click on the Bucks.
No, yeah, the Bears are
There
nowhere
we
close.
go. Okay. Yeah, they got pick 121. I would trade back.
Just
what,
add
13
that
spots. Let's do that.
and see if
if you can get 157 from
Try
them. Yeah,
it.
I think you can get that.
Yeah.
And then for pick 108, I'm good with that. You
Yeah,
get
let's
another
trade.
day 3
Yeah,
pick.
let's
I'm
do
good with
that.
that. You drop back 10 spots. You get 2 more picks coming in 5 and 6 there.
Yeah, I like it.
So, yeah. All right. Perfect. Okay. Let's see what we got here then.
Yeah, now we're gonna have what, a 6-person class, much better, right? That's
Yeah. I like
totally
if you can
fine.
get 2 solid day 1 guys and 3 or 4 more depth guys, then you're good for this year.
Yeah.
So, okay, who do we got here? Um, McLaughlin's still there. I think I might wait on him. Can you go up to Edge? He was there for Edge right there? Um, not a whole lot. Let's see.
No.
No, that's pretty picked clean. Let's just go. Can we just try? Can we just go to all? See who's best available here. Let's see who's best available here. Matabuike, he'll be gone long before that. Uh, did Fairchild get taken? Looks like he might have.
Jalen
He-
Milrow.
Yeah.
This Oklahoma
Yeah.
linebacker pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see who's that linebacker there. Maybe
It's Stutzman.
never heard
Yeah,
of him.
Vikings need linebacker depth. That's not a bad pick here.
I mean, Eric Wilson's a good depth piece. He's more of your coverage guy, but with if Pace doesn't get and Cashman's gonna get hurt, we just know he will get hurt at some point. Just the way it is with him. So who's there for linebacker? Can you click on that one quick? Stutzman. I like Bossa. He's more of like a late day 3. Kobe King's actually a pretty good. I like him too. You go down just a little bit there. Yeah. Kaiser is my guy. I love him. He's more of a special teams, kind of bruiser, but the guy's just a good, solid tackler. Like, he doesn't miss tackles for anything. He's just a good, solid. He's just like a good, what do you call him, lunchbox kind of guy. Shows
Yeah.
up, does his work, goes home. I like any of those guys.
All right.
But
Well, let's settle on one.
okay, I'd say I'd go Kobe King if I'm picking a linebacker here,
Okay.
probably.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know the linebacker class very well, so I'm
Yeah,
just gonna go with
I
you.
know a lot about him, but I know more about the guys at the top of the draft. Not much late day 3, but
Let's
I know a
see.
couple of these guys.
6'1", 240. So he's got okay size.
He's good. He's good sideline guy. He's quick on the closing on the speed there, which is good. That's what we need. Kind of like Pace, but better in coverage. But
Yeah, looks like he's just a solid tackler. Gonna
yeah,
clean up the run game. I like it.
yeah. All right,
Kobe King, welcome to the Minnesota
perfect.
Vikings.
Let's see what else we got down the road here. Okay.
I think we probably go offensive line here, I would think, and then
For
finish out with a
sure.
running
Yeah,
back.
I didn't see a whole lot of options there. If McLaughlin's there, I'd take him here. He'll probably be there. I've seen him kind of
Yeah,
late
he's
day
gonna
3
be
with that
there.
injury.
Yeah, I think he's right there.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good center prospect that
Oh,
if he
if he
wasn't
had
injured,
yeah, if
he
he
would be
hadn't got
going
injured, he would
day
have gone
2.
definitely day 2 probably for sure this draft easily. The way he started Alabama for all 4 years and then last year at Ohio State, he's a good prospect. 6'4", 320. That's good for a center. So yeah, forget the trade offers. I think we just stick and pick here. So I think we got our picks.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Let's
I'm good
pull
with
the trigger
McLaughlin.
on Seth
That's my
there.
Jonah Monheim. He's good too, but I'm good with McLaughlin.
6'4".
He's a good. I think he'd be a good development guy for a year from now. Get him
Yeah.
in there for a year and let him heal and develop and learn behind Kelly. I'm good with that and take over a
Yeah.
year from now.
And I have
Done.
concerns with Jurgens just being big enough to play the
Yeah,
position.
he's what I've heard. He's too small. What I've been
Yeah.
hearing about him behind the scenes. I mean, McLaughlin is a brick. He's 6'4", 320, and Jurgens is like 6'2", 300 on a good day, soaking wet. You
What's
know,
what's our tackle situation depth wise right now?
we just signed that Jeff's. Is it
School. We got
school?
School.
Yeah, he's our swing tackle
He's
now.
pretty good too as a
I'm
swing
not.
guy.
I'm not. Everyone keeps saying Rouse as a guard. I think he's just more of a swing tackle. I don't see him as a guard, but everything I'm hearing about that guy, I think they're gonna try him at guards. What I'm hearing now, kind of what when Brandel moved to guard from tackle when we drafted him, I think 2 years ago or whatever that was.
Let's
So
take Seth there, Dave.
yeah, I'm good with Seth here. He's get
And
another good
then
pedigree.
I think
So
this is
I'm
our
good with
last
it.
pick. Let's take the best back that's available.
Yeah, RG ETN is good. He doesn't go. RJ Harvey's still sitting there. Yeah, I'm good with either of those
4.42.
guys here. I think good solid pickups this part in the draft. So Ollie Gordon's not bad. He's kind of more of a poor man's, bruiser kind of guy, but
No, Etienne's going.
yeah, shit.
That's
That's
okay.
okay. It's all right. This is day 3. You're lucky to get a starter day 3 if you're lucky, here.
I'm
But
an RJ Harvey fan.
yeah, I
Let's
think
take
you go
that
with RJ
guy.
Harvey
Let's
and
look
just
at
make
his
it easy.
profile.
Yeah.
He's small, 5'8", but he's built like a bowling ball,
He
205,
he is very hard to bring
4'4".
down.
Yeah.
He's built like a brick shit house, but he's hard to bring down. So kind of like Mason, but yeah, he's about the same size. Mason's like what 5'9". He's about the same size, I
Yeah.
want to
It's
say.
pretty similar to Mason.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm not
similar
as
profile,
little bit
but I,
faster
but
too.
he's quick. He's hard to bring down and he's
Yeah.
quick. So I'm good
Mason
with
ran a
it.
4'5". He's running a 4'4".
Yeah,
This guy does have separation. Let's
I'm
take
good with it.
Harvey.
So yeah, I don't mind it. I think it's a good pick. So yeah,
And I
I'm
think
good.
that
I think
rounds
it's a
out
good.
our draft class, right?
I'd
Let's
give it a
take a look on the
solid
right side
A.
there, Dave.
I'd give it a solid A on that one.
Derek Harmon, Trey Amos, two
Yep.
defensive guys who could come in and start day one if we needed them to.
Malachi Moore is a good depth piece a year from now to
Yep.
replace Harry maybe down the
Yep.
road. Yeah, I like it.
You got some linebacker
McLaughlin
depth.
is
You got
good
a
center.
center.
Yeah,
Yep. I
I
love
like
that
it.
class.
Yeah, I like it.
Good work.
Go team. Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah. Did they give you grades on this one? Again, I have used a simulator before. They give you grades on this
No, I
simulator?
don't think they
Okay.
grade it.
Not like
What
everybody else does.
you guys in the comments, what do you think? Oh, we did have a lot of people telling us, giving us thoughts. We didn't see the comments because we had the screens up,
Yeah.
but I'm reading through. Amos will not fall that far. I kind of agree. If there's a chance, we got him in the 50s. There's a chance he could go in the 50s.
I mean, yeah, like it depends on like Benjamin Morrison could go easily top 20 if he wasn't injured, but because of his injury with the hip, he could easily fall to late day, too, just as easily. So
A lot of guys liked Grant. I think Grant was gone by our pick 24, if I recall, because I don't
Kenneth,
remember.
yeah, Grant
Yeah.
was he was on the board, I think, but he was on the board 24, I think. Yeah, but either
Oh,
way,
so when we
I
traded down, he was picked.
yeah. I think the name of the game was you got to trade down here. I'm all again unless GNT falls, which I don't see it happening, or if Starks is sitting there, I'd be hard to pass up on him. But I think you just gotta, yeah. I don't think Nolan will be there either. But yeah, if
Grant was
those guys
25th.
fall, yeah. What was that?
Grant was 25th.
Okay, well he was there, but still, you got Harmon, who's I think just as good. He might not be
Yeah.
as high.
And you got more value out of the
Yeah,
24th
you
pick, which
got
is
2 day more day.
huge.
You got 2 day more picks out of that too.
Because here's the
So
thing. If you don't trade down with that 24 with a first round pick, it's really hard to accumulate anything worth value by trading down with your third or later picks. At
yeah,
that point, you're really just collecting a bunch of dudes who are dart throws at best. Like,
yeah,
I think the best strategy is to trade down from 24 to a point where you are comfortable that at least 3 players you like will be there. But not, but it has to be far enough to accumulate some value. And I think we
yeah.
did that. Daniel's giving us a B plus.
Never retreat.
Bob, never retreat. Don't trade back. Too many Spielman trade back.
And everyone. So again, quick thing on Starks. Everyone's because it's the school. You gotta look past the school because of everyone's got scene syndrome. Now because we traded back and okay, that was his first draft. Here's the thing: had Quasey gotten a first round pick in the next year, I don't think we'd be complaining as much as we do about that trade being as bad as it was, and it was a bad trade. I think in general because you go back to the end of the first round and you don't get first round pick for that the next year. I never heard of that
Yeah,
before.
I think that's everybody's thought process. That
Yeah,
it was
had you
like,
got
oh
another
yeah,
first
we
round,
traded. Did we get next year's first?
yeah,
No.
for going back 22 spots and going into the first round. Yeah, Scene was on tape was a good player, but I think the injury derailed it a little more than people let on about his career. But again, we will never know. It is what it is.
He had that
And
one preseason game, man.
yeah,
And we're like,
had Booth
he's
panned out. I
back.
was
Nope.
big fan of Booth that year too. But again,
Yeah, we talked about
now
that.
what? Chandler's probably gone now, right? Because you probably get a third back in the draft. Chandler will be gone this year. That leaves who? Jalen Naylor. That's it from that class. That's it, which is insane. Oh no, Asamoah, who could be gone. He's a special teams guy, but he'll never be like a full time linebacker starter. Just the way it is with him. So yeah, out of that whole draft, if you told me 3 years ago it'd be Jalen Naylor and Asamoah as your two guys making that whole draft, I'd be thinking you were crazy. But
And
yeah, anyway, on
and
Starks.
was it Nick Muse gets a Super Bowl
Yeah,
ring? Or
he wins with Philly, of course. Oh no, and Scene won too. Was he on the practice squad? I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah, Scene was on their practice squad when they won the Super Bowl. Yeah, so Scene got a ring
he
too
gets a
already.
ring.
Yeah, you got a ring. Anyway, on the Starks guy, quick here from look past the school. Starks he's a bona fide first round prospect, can't miss it. And I don't think he'll be there at 24, but if he is, I have a hard time passing on him. Even worries, the dude's a freak. Just big size, 6'3". They're comparing him to Cam Dantzler from a decade ago, or Cam Chancellor, sorry, but he's bigger and he's faster. So yeah, I would be good with either of those guys at in the first round, first pick. I think you need safety. Harry ain't getting any younger. And this is probably it for him. This is probably his last Viking ride. So we'll see. But yeah, look past the school. That's all I'm gonna say. Look past the name of the school. And look at the player. That's all I'm gonna say. So
Yep. Well,
yeah.
that was a lot
Anyway,
of fun, guys. Thank you
yep.
for
I enjoyed
joining
it.
us for Mock Draft
Be
2.0.
happy to do it again before the draft. If you guys want me to have me back, I'd love to come on again before the
Yeah,
draft
man.
again. So if you want me
Always
back,
love doing these mock drafts. I mean, like I said, the Vikings have put themselves in such a good position where we didn't have to force anything.
yeah,
We
it
just let
really
the
is
board fall to
BPA
us.
now. It is.
Yep.
Again, look at the years they got Moss and Peterson. They didn't need either of those guys that year. They fell in their laps and they took them. That's fine. It can happen every time, but this year could be different too. You never know. So
You know, it'd be really fun. And I actually
what?
just thought about this today. Daniel Jeremiah has speculated that awesome wide receiver from Arizona, his name is
Oh,
Tet.
Ty McMillan. Yeah.
Yes. So that guy, because he runs like a 4.5 and he's like a super big guy, I think like Mike Evans, that he's not expected to go like top 10, right? He sees a chance where he falls a little bit. If a guy like that somehow makes it to 24, run that card up, dude. Do you know how much fun that would be? Justin Jefferson and
Here's the
then
thing,
that guy.
and I don't know if they're going to extend Addison. This the way it's been working out with him. He's a good player. Would you trade Addison for
Next
another?
year. Next
Yeah,
year.
no, yeah, maybe. Yeah, because he's still got two more. He's
Yeah.
coming to year 3 now. This will
Yeah.
be his 3rd year. Yeah, so
And then
he's
he's
still
got the
got 2 more
fifth
years
year
of a contract with
option.
him after this year. So yeah,
Yeah.
fifth
It's
year
that
option.
time. You don't want to get rid of weapons for JJ McCarthy. Keep him for
Yeah,
now.
but
Keep his nose clean. I mean, he's got to
that's
grow
a
up a
big
little
if.
bit. Got to
His
grow up.
dad, I think his dad on Twitter is actually hilarious. His dad's on Twitter. I think he's kind of hilarious. But again,
Yeah.
just don't get your kid and
yeah,
don't get your kid in.
or he's post the middle of the game. That's 50 push-ups, son. Or
Yeah,
shit
he
like
dropped that
I
one
wanted to
pass in the end
respond
zone.
to him, be
No,
like,
it
so
was
how many push-ups is it for a DUI, sir?
even
Or
though it was
whatever.
Darnold's fault not throwing him the ball in the end zone, it's still his fault not catching the ball. Darnold didn't throw the ball to him in the end zone in the playoff game, but it's still his. I love the guy; he's hilarious. Anyway, all right, you guys. I hope you have a great night, and we'll talk soon. So, Skull.
right.
Skull.
All right.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank
Have
you
a good
guys.
night. We'll
Appreciate
catch
it.
you guys next Tuesday.
Sounds good. I'll
Skull.
be here.